battle.
Good evening, Juventini. How y'all doing? It is Europa League, the eve of. We're going to pregame it. Man, Europa League. It's been a few years. I'm excited for it. Dash, you ready for this?
We got some Europa League. We got some Super Duper League. We've got some conference leagues, and we got other leagues. But we're going to talk about the Europa League and the Conference League because the Champions League today was an absolute snooze fest. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. You know what? I was more concerned. I didn't even check the scores. I was more concerned about the Juve next gen tonight. Is that bad of me?
Oh.
Or is that maybe just a massive fanboy for Juventus, I guess. Really all that is. But
well, because, like, let's be real here. It was Benfica versus Club Brugge, and they won 2-0.
Benfica did.
Shocker, yeah. And then Dortmund and Chelsea 1-0. And, you know, it was funny. The funny thing about this was content creators are like, y'all need to put some respect on the Bundesliga because Dortmund got a dub. Okay, great. Against, like, the worst Chelsea in, like, the last 6 years.
The most expensive?
The most expensive, but absolute dog crap at this point. So, like, I thought it was funny. I was like, seriously.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And this is why we need the Super League to prevent days like this, because how can you call this Champions League quality football? Like, I am sorry. Like, I think the only team that's like a legit baller team that's playing is Benfica, but like Dortmund, Chelsea, Club Brugge, like, seriously?
I mean, Dortmund's usually there, right? You know, they make the 16.
They're
often enough,
around 16 and out. That's usually how they play.
But at least they're there.
Yeah, but and the thing is, and like kind of to recap some of the results too, it's like we gotta chill, man. Like these 1-0 wins, and everyone's sitting here like they've lost their damn mind. Like, for example, I'm gonna talk about Milan and Spurs. Low key, I kind of want to troll Conte, but like Milan wins 1-0 against Spurs, and everyone's sitting here like, yeah, Serie A is great and blah blah blah. And then same thing with Dortmund winning 1-0. Like, you guys realize that they have to go away and hold that result.
Yeah.
Like, remember that. Like, remember the last time Milan went to Europe or to England? They got slapped by this crappy Chelsea team.
Yeah, there's still another 90 minutes to play here, or more. So
same thing with Bayern Munich and PSG. Well, Bayern Munich PSG is a little bit more different, but anyways, the away goal rule doesn't even count anymore. But like,
true.
It's 1-0 like score lines. Like, everyone's got to like chill the hell out, like relax.
Or do we celebrate? Because I mean, who else around here doesn't love a 1-0 score line if it's not for a Juventini? Frankie just what does he got here? Milan beats Spurs, and all of a sudden, I think me and Sir Conte talks about missing Italy. I mean, I think he knows that there's another juicy job with probably pretty decent salary coming in the likely form of Juventus once again.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry. If you get Conte there, an absolute, like, it's just idiotic at that point. Like, seriously?
Anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Like, how does this guy get beat by Pioli and, like, a Milan team that was, like, desperate for a win? Like, they had not won consistently in over a while. And it's like, and here's the other thing, too, because I kind of want to go at the Kulusevski folk, is, see, Kulusevski is great in England because they do a high line. Milan played a low line, and that guy absolutely disappeared. Like, he fizzled out completely that game. Like, I still really hope that Tottenham buys him because, like, we saw it. Like, the dude could not do anything against this Milan side. So it's like, really? Like, did we miss much with Kulusevski? Like,
yeah. And what's up, Tom? Just say hi to everyone that's rolled in here in the comments right away, which is Frankie, Bones, and Tom right off the bat. So welcome in, guys. Yeah, we're gonna have a bit of fun tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because there's not a huge amount of news. We'll just push it out of the way. There's whatever. Then we'll get some fun. Because there's a couple big things. So, as you know, it feels like it's been so long the last time I've done a live.
It's only been like 4 days.
I know.
Yeah, because yesterday we did our double take video, and that's out on the channel where we talk about the semi-automatic offside. So go ahead and give that a view, a goner as well.
Yeah, that's right. Midnight there in Wales. I'd be well asleep at that point. That's for sure. And Bones, yes, you commented on it as well. So we always know about you, Bones. You're everywhere.
Frankie loved the video too.
Nice. I'm glad you guys are liking that as well. It seems to have a pretty decent reception. But we're gonna dive into that a bit more. We have to get KF So I'm thinking Saturday we might do the 4 p.m. our time, Eastern there. So that gives hopefully Hamza a chance to get in here and talk about his experience at the match. He was there in Fiorentina. We got a bit of it from Kevin. Did he say no? He was never public. We'll ask him. Yeah. So
yeah, he wasn't public for it.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get his comments too. So, and that's referencing to the semi-automatic offside and the delayed reaction, emotion. You know, we kind of came at it we're American. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and it's also, guys, like, it's also in the clip itself where, like, I literally show the Rabiot goal where everyone's just kind of like, like it's in the video, guys. Watch the video.
And I was at work. If you guys didn't catch that, that's why I haven't been there for a couple days. So I got called into work and I had it up on my desk. I had it on the speakers. We got the speakers wired into the wall too, so it was just blasting across the whole shop, but on this little 5-inch screen. So I mean, it is what it is. I was lucky I even had signal in that place because I typically don't. And all of a sudden, like, I was helping somebody out, and then I'm like, oh my, and I had that like same and I like turn around to go help the person again, and then it starts like, oh my god, yes. So yeah, it was definitely a delayed reaction, even from the way I was watching it as well. So that being said, guys, just since we're live here, let us know what you think about the semi-automatic offside, or semi-automated, because it's English, so they have to say it slightly different than the way we would say it, right? So the semi-automated offside, what do you guys think about that? Are you for it? Are you against it? Are you sort of on the fence? Let us know there, and we're gonna get into a guy. He's got a face that you want to punch. You'll see in a bit. He works for Sky Sports. Yeah, I'm calling you out. He said some pretty audacious things in reference to the Super League, and I think they're ridiculous. I don't know if he generally feels this way or he's just a TV personality and he's just playing the shit out of it. I'm really not sure. But the fact of the matter is, fake news. We're going to break it down. And Tom's saying, I think the new offside kills the flow of the game. But my counter to that is when they spend 5 minutes looking at the screen, trying to figure out without the technology if it's a penalty, offside, what have you. So if the technology is like, bam, let me take 30 seconds, look, yeah, okay, let's move on. Instead of this 5 minutes, and then somehow extra time is 4 minutes, even though you spent 5 minutes looking for a goal. You know, like, I get it. I absolutely get it. And it does kill a lot of the feeling. But at the same time, man, the amount of dumb calls, it just brings justice to so many missed calls. I think is what it is. It's the justice that I'm for.
I mean, yeah. And we made fun of it too when we blew up the Doosan offsides one, where we're just like, we legit like enlarged it to the point where we couldn't enlarge it anymore. And we're just kind of like,
yeah. And Bones here says, because it punishes taller players. In this current iteration of it, yes, it actually does. Now, apparently they are going to look at, and what league is it? I think, was it an under 18 league?
Under 18, under 19, where they're like going to reevaluate certain body parts of what they're going to constitute it as. Because right now in the current rule book is any scoring piece of the body, if it has an offensive advantage in an offsides position, it is ruled offside. Because right now your shoulder can be, because that's kind of what happened to Doosan. His shoulder was flagged for offsides, where it's like, he was only leaning, and it's not really much of an advantage. So I think it's going to open up a new interpretation of what the offsides rule is. So for me, I'm happy because offsides rule kind of blows. So
Panucci's ass is going to be playing so many people on side.
Ooh, he's thick. Boy, he's thick.
Oh man, it's funny because it's true. Okay, but let's discuss this other method, right? So I don't know, hands up if you all watch hockey. It's probably just me and you. I bet none of these guys watch hockey. But if you do, let us know.
I don't think people can raise hands in the comments.
No, you know what I'm saying. Like, shout out.
Hands emoji.
I did like the stupid elementary school. Raise your hands. Yeah, okay. I'm a loser. Let us know if you watch hockey, you understand. But the way it works in hockey, there's a blue line, and that's the zone. So each team has a zone. It's in thirds, kind of like a soccer pitch, football pitch. I mean, Tom played NHL hits on N64. I mean, I don't think there was offsides in that version of the game, but Anyways, it's into thirds, and there's the blue line. The center ice has the red line, but the blue line delineates the zone. So if you're the offensive team breaking into the zone, the puck has to cross the blue line before you do. But the difference is as long as you still have a piece of your body over the blue line, you are still onside. So you can get ready. You can move in to the zone as long as part of your body is still touching that blue line that has not crossed yet. And that is to allow the attacker to actually have some momentum and make an attack instead of being static and just waiting for that perfect moment, which is now a millimeter. It is ridiculous in its current iteration. I do agree. But it's worked in hockey for 15, 20 years. I can't even remember how long it's been. It's been a long time. And it works that method. They're testing it in this under 19 league. Man, if they do it right, and that's the thing, they put these rules in whenever there's new rules, there's a growing pain. I say let this one flesh itself out. Let them take some lessons from North America in this case, and I think we got something good.
Yep, I'm trying to see if I can find an image to better explain the NHL.
Yeah, I did mean to get something. Sorry, my mouse is dying too. I gotta plug it in.
Oh, I got one. Here we go. So you'll be able to talk to this one. I just gotta wait for it to load.
Yeah, you talk NFL stuff. I talk NHL stuff,
yeah.
And I think NBA. We just kind of make things up.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah. So Bones saying that's what I said. It should be by the. Okay, I know what you're saying. Should be where the foot is. Yeah. Yeah, we're saying the same thing. Let's get this picture up. Ellie's in here saying hi as usual. Okay, yes, that's perfect. So see this guy in the foreground.
Let me do this.
Is this the Rangers and who? Like
Rangers and Calgary.
Oh, Calgary. Yeah, I got a Calgary hat. I'm a fan. Okay, so this guy right in the foreground. You see how his foot, his skate is holding on to the blue line. He's actually lunging forward, and that puck, as you can see slightly farther up, has just crossed the blue line. So he is onside. That is what I would like to see in football. If they do it that way, I'm telling you, it's great. And it works so well. Oh, here's another one. We got the Penguins and Columbus. Oh, this is
yeah.
Oh yeah. See, his foot's now.
I'm just pausing it.
Okay, sorry.
Fair use rules, guys. Fair use. I can't just play it all the way through, so I'm just pausing and going. So again, so it's explained here: a player that is onside when either his skates are in contact with the blue line or his own side of the blue line. At the instant the puck completely crosses the leading edge of the blue line.
So obviously it's going to be a bit different in football because that line moves with the impact of the ball, but we've seen they have the technology to figure that part of it out, right? Okay, so Bones is saying, but where would the blue line on the okay, so that's what I'm saying. That's where you really need that technology to come into play. Like this is easy because it's a solid line and they have a camera down that line, but what they're doing in football is they have these cameras surrounding the stadium. And then there's, of course, the sensor in the ball. So when you hit that ball, sensor goes off. Okay, that's point of impact. Then the cameras will have to, and they'll triangulate. So once you have 3 or more points of reference, you can get really accurate. I mean, they're taking each one of these body parts once every 50 seconds, 50 hertz, which is the refresh rate of the monitors in Europe. If you didn't know, that's why it's 50 hertz. Makes sense. And the ball itself is taking data 5,000 times a second or 5,000 hertz, which works out because you can put 50 into 5,000, so everything syncs up. Bam, technology in a nutshell. So, I mean, use it to figure out where that line is and implement this hockey style of offside. And I think it's great. I don't know if you guys still disagree with me, let me know, but I'm totally on board with it.
Yeah. Move. Gone.
Anybody watch that one? I did not. I've been busy. But yes, I mean, the EPL has nice cameras. That's why the EPL does well. That's why things like the NFL does well, because of the production value.
Yeah, and we're gonna, and we'll cover the company that covers the EPL as well. So, and the revenue that goes into it.
Oh, so. yes, you have those numbers, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, they're funny numbers.
Very funny numbers.
All right. Yeah, do you got them handy? Ready to throw them
Yeah,
out?
I got him. Do we
Let's
want
dive
to
into it. Sure,
dive
yes,
into
dive
the
into
Super
it.
League thing? All right, you want to play the clip then? Just slowly by slowly.
All right.
So again, fair use, educational purposes. YouTube, don't get pissed at us because we're going to pause it and react to.
So I'm just going to get
structure by
pissed out at
structure.
us, but don't copyright us because this is, I mean, we're definitely breaking this down, and I think there's a lot of fake news in this, and we need to set the record straight. So let's play a bit here.
First of all, I've just got to say the European Super League, this is like a bad smell.
Okay, so he comes out the gate just insulting it. Oh, it's a bad smell. Okay, I thought you were a professional. You have a suit. Okay, he doesn't wear a tie, and he's got the thing unbuttoned, so maybe he's a bit of a joke. Let's go on.
You can't get rid of. The person you were just listening to there from a company called A22.
So just some reference, if you haven't watched it, you can go back there. If you go to the A22 website, you can just listen to the spiel. You probably heard of it. If not, go back and listen to it at some point. It's just saying this is what the Super League is, but let's go.
Sports management. That is a company that is basically backed by 3 clubs, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus. They were the 3 clubs who were part of the 12 clubs who tried to set up a European.
I think I have to pause every few seconds anyway. Yep. So, this is the pause.
Super League 18 months ago. That was a spectacular disaster.
All right, so
okay, so maybe, yeah.
He said, no. So he said spectacular disaster because you guys lost your minds, and then everybody started sanctioning these clubs and threatening these clubs at gunpoint. Yeah, okay, it was a disaster because of your politics.
It's okay, and still, it's a bit hyperbole in what he's saying. What's the reference point? Because I feel, and this is going to come up over and over, basically, this is a very English perspective. And Tom, I know you're Wales. I know it's close enough to England, right? Whatever. It's the UK. I feel like you might have a different perspective as well, because you're more subjected to this kind of media, right? So, I mean, chime in. Let me know if this is kind of what you get.
Apart in a matter of days. They've gone away. They've licked their wounds. They haven't given up on this grotesque dream they've got.
So it's a grotesque dream. So I guess because I share a bit of this dream as well, in one form or the other. So I guess I have a very grotesque mind. Dash, do you have a grotesque mind?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we're pretty grotesque. Let's go on.
To set up a European Super League, and they've said to themselves, what did we get wrong last time? Okay, last time our PR was absolutely terrible.
So hold on, you're getting mad at them because they made improvements on their product. Okay.
Our communications strategy was atrocious. We need to improve that, which is what they've done by setting up this new A22 sports management company and having quite a slick German man running it. And
he stumbled a bit there after he said German man. Are you a little bit racist? I'm getting a bit of racism here because he's a slick German man.
Wow.
What is wrong with a slick German man? Have you watched F1? Have you looked at Mercedes? They're full of slick German men, and they do very well for themselves.
I just think it's funny. His word choice makes absolutely. He's like, they were made by this. They got this fancy company, this A22 Sports, and they have this thick German, like, dude, just say, hey, A22, and it looks like, and it's by the name of the guy. You don't need to say by this adjective person. Like, here's the thing. This is where I think this stuff is kind of irritating, because the thing is like, dude, you're not a poet. Just get to the point. I don't like this. This doesn't make sense to me. Here's the reasons why I don't like this. That's what I hate about some of these pundits, man, because they always got to come in here and just sit here and let me razz you with some different word dictions just so I make you a little bit wet down under there. Like, dude, it's a sports broadcast. I don't need any complex diction. No sport fan needs complex diction. Pick your points, state your argument, base your claims, supply the receipts. 3-step process.
Isn't that part of the tactic, though, is when you use this highfalutin language, it confuses people, but it also impresses them in a sense. You said fancy words.
And it's also when I don't have credible sources or data or documentation or any kind of claims or substantiations to my claims, you talk like this. because he's got nothing. He doesn't come in with anything. He doesn't give you anything. So he's like, let me try to paint a narrative. Let me try to paint a picture. Let me try to get these guys already thinking and visualizing. Because the thing is like, think about it when you're reading a book. What do you use? Visualization to look at it to see it. So when he starts off by saying grotesque, when he starts saying adjectives like that, the viewer and the person's already thinking of, ugh,
Yeah.
when he gets to his point.
And that's a thing. And there is a scientific term that I don't have in my head right now for that, but you do associate things, right?
It is.
Just like when you walk into a house and it smells like apples and cinnamon, you want to buy the thing, right?
Exactly. It's the corporate world. This is corporate speak.
Yeah. Let's go on.
Doing these videos and releasing on social media.
Isn't he releasing a video on social media right now?
I know.
Okay. I mean, hypocrite.
The other thing that they really, really got wrong was that their league 18 months ago was a closed shop, effectively.
Fair point. I'm going to give him fair point.
Yeah, but it was also invite only. So you could say closed shop, but again, it depends on how you take the definition of it. But carry on.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I'll let that one go.
It was going to be 15 clubs who would always be members of the European Super League, plus 5 clubs who could qualify for it annually. There was a huge backlash against 22 sports.
Oh, stop. Jesus.
No,
okay.
You rewinded it. So, okay. 15 closed with 5 people that could annually apply for it.
So not
that doesn't sound closed.
Semi?
And that's actually on the Super League website. It says 15 clubs annually with 5. And this is like the old Super League. So I'll actually share it with you guys. I'll give you receipts here.
Receipts.
So here we go. This is the original Super League. This is the 15 clubs that signed up 2.5 years ago, 18 months ago, per se. So it says here, top 8 clubs. So right here, the Super League is a new European competition between 20 top clubs comprised of the 15 founder clubs and 5 annual qualifiers. So it's not closed. It's
almost a hybrid between the current style and a North American style. They tried to get best of both worlds, which we know when you try to appease everyone, it doesn't really work. So it was a bit flawed.
Yeah, it was. And I'm not saying this is the most amazing thing in the world, but like, dude, if you're going to cover stuff, at least be like, cover your things accurately. Do your research.
Yeah, but again, what Tom says sounds like most of the English media bash the opposition. Doesn't matter if it's factual B shit. Oh, B shit? Yeah, okay. Bullshit. I tried to censor myself and then it just came out. Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys. It's not just English media too. It's pretty much everywhere these days, unfortunately.
League 18 months ago was qualified for it annually. There was a huge backlash against that. So they've come back with these new proposals now, better PR, and they're trying to tell us that there is going to be relegation and promotion.
They're trying to tell us, or did they say this is? I mean, they did tell you, buddy. They didn't try. Use better words.
And their dream is now, apparently, to have these European Super Leagues made up of up to 80 teams from across Europe. And apparently there is going to be a little bit of promotion and relegation.
A little bit? I think there's more promotion and relegation than the actual leagues. Because it's 5. Isn't it 5 that get promoted or relegated in the current setup? So better than the 3 or 4 that's currently incorporated, isn't it? Okay, so I mean, you're wrong again.
But if you actually look at it, it's going to be the same teams playing over and over again.
Like the NHL, MLB, NBA, MLS. How many different leagues could we name? Geez, go! There's so many.
League on, League Nos.
How about
Hungarian Super League?
I mean F1. They play all the same teams at the same time every weekend. That's not boring. Okay.
And what the gentleman there was saying about, European football being in disarray and it was crumbling and only he can save it. Basically what he's saying is that only Real Madrid, Juventus and Barcelona.
Those are okay.
Those three.
Those three. They're the only ones that can save it. So I don't know if he's the one that talks about Sheffield in this one. It might have been another video that I trashed as well at one point. But doesn't every story need a hero. And I'm not saying, oh, Juve, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're the heroes. But in the corporate sense, they are kind of trying to be. They're trying to head up this new Super League because they realize that in their own leagues, they're not going to be competitive on the European stage anymore. So yes, I mean, they are trying to champion an idea. That's how you use words, by the way, buddy. So try a bit harder there as well.
Can save it. They're very, very worried about the power of the Premier League. The Premier League has effectively become the global Super League, and these clubs are desperate to do something about it, which is
yes. Do you blame them? Why is this a problem? Anybody? When you see that somebody's doing something better than yourself and you're running a business, do you not try to make change so you can get more business? Still don't see a problem.
why they haven't given up on their dream of setting up a European Super League.
Didn't your mom tell you never to give up on your dreams?
But I want to make this point very, very clearly. What we're hearing today is of
I did it again. Sorry. I wonder if his mom or dad or whoever told him to give up on his dreams, and that's why he's running a shitty punditry on Sky Sports.
on their dream of setting up a European Super League. But I want to make this point very, very clearly. What we're hearing today is PR.
Public relations. Okay.
All right.
What are you doing right now?
Anti-PR.
I mean, and the anti is just a matter of perspective.
But the funny thing is this guy hasn't made a single counter argument.
He hasn't made any point at all. This is slander. This is 6 minutes of slander. So let's continue because we've got a few more minutes here.
Talking about plans that are going to happen. This is a PR strategy. This is just going back over what they did 18 months ago. But obviously, a lot of the main players have left now.
Have they left?
It's just still the three that started it.
But technically, some of those teams have not actually officially left. They just removed themselves from being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still contractual agreements in place. So, wrong again.
The three that are left, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, trying to do it again with better PR and also an element, supposedly, of promotion and relegation.
Again, don't see a problem with trying to improve something.
You know what? Let's that. Okay. All right. So with an element of it, there was an element on the previous one. There's an element on the new one, which we'll show you the chart for.
But elements, right? Elements have weights, and some have like one. Oh man, you're the scientist dude here, engineer. What do you call it? The outer ring of elements, right?
The electrons.
Those are... Yeah, it's in the There's the electrons. It's called. There's the rings. Man, it's been so long since I did chemistry. I feel like a dummy here. But I mean, you put more elements. You create more elements. You create a new. It's just. What's wrong with heavier elements? You're just making more elements to make it better. What's going on here?
So this dream, any chance of it succeeding or getting?
He's looking at his phone right now.
This last dream of Super League.
But to be honest with you, I would say the chances of it happening are somewhere between slim and none.
And where did he get those numbers?
Yeah.
They're not even numbers, by the way. But
they're not. Slim and numb isn't. Slim and numb.
Inflammatory.
None. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Chances of him getting laid about the same. All right.
To have
Dave is ruthless.
European Super League that anyone is ever going to watch, you are going to need to have English clubs in it. So you go.
Oh, and there's the kicker. You need English clubs.
I mean, I think it would be good to, but do you need to have English clubs?
There it is. Bernadeschi.
Well done.
There it is. There it is. And it rears its ugly head. The English. You need the English clubs. So, just to keep you and this guy in check, who's got the most? So, which two other leagues have the most European championships?
Spain and Italy.
Italy and Spain.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say Italy and Spain. I mean Spain, Italy.
Yeah, so
no,
La
I'm giving you a
Liga-
hard time. He corrects me.
La
Yeah.
Liga and Serie A, and you're so historic English clubs. Which one has actually gotten the track record of actually being successful? And they only have 5 Champions Leagues, and it's
Still,
Liverpool.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
And then who's close to them? Man U with 2 or 3, and then what? Chelsea with 2. How many does Man City have? Oh, a goose egg. How many does Arsenal have? Oh, a goose egg. And who did they lose their only Champions League final to? Oh, wait, Barcelona. And then how about Tottenham? Oh, they've got 0 as well.
I think what we have to take away from this, and it's a lesson that we see a lot that we should take away with in this world, is inclusivity, right? So it's the classic that to try to make yourself seem so like special and privileged or whatnot, or like in a separate group, you put yourself on a little island. And yes, okay, you have the Champions League, I get it, but it's coming to the point where the other leagues won't have the money to compete. This is why this is happening. So is it not good to have inclusivity where it's like, hey, yeah, this will be a better product with the English teams, but it's also going to be a better product with the Spanish, the German, the Italian, the Dutch, all the different teams, all of them. And that's becoming less and less of a thing as this UEFA version of the Champions League continues forward and forward. That's kind of the point that I think the Super League guys are trying to make here.
Going to need to have Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
You nailed all. You got them all.
The clubs who tried to set up a European Super League 18 months ago. Now, these Premier League clubs.
Okay, so where was all this footage taken? I see
England.
No something zone. That's English, so that's definite. No drone zone. It's a no drone zone.
Can't
So
have
this
a drone
is
at Stamford Bridge.
yeah. So that's England, and I think their footage is only from England.
Cannot join a breakaway league. If you go and look at the new Premier League handbook, the first page of that handbook has got the new Premier League owners charter.
They didn't spend much money on that banner, did they?
Nope.
It's Liverpool. They don't have any money.
So this is something that all the owners of Premier League clubs have had to sign. And in that charter, point 9 says, we are collectively committed to the Premier League and recognise our responsibility to support it. We will not engage in the creation of new competition formats outside the Premier League's rules.
So this is a rule that the Premier League is trying to impose on all of the Premiership clubs. They are trying to handcuff them contractually, saying that no, as a club, you have no freedom to choose where you play. You either play here or you don't play at all.
Or you play in UEFA or you don't play at all, because UEFA is a trusted league.
Yes, exactly. So that seems very draconian. That's an extremely draconian measure. So I'll go back to F1 racing again. How many different instances have we seen guys go from F1 to IndyCar and even to NASCAR in some cases, come back to F1, sometimes even in the same season? Is that a bad thing? I mean, Michael Jordan went from the NBA to the MLB in a matter of a couple weeks.
And he came back a couple months
And then
later.
then he came back. I mean, granted, the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago Bulls was owned by the same guy. Bit different, but still, it was fun. It was cool to see. Nobody says, like, you can't do that. I made you write a contract that basically took away your freedoms of a company and a club. So I mean,
all the Premier League club owners have signed that commitment. They will not be joining a breakaway Super League. The government white paper that is just going to come out, which is going to recommend the setting up of an independent regulator for football, the government in that will make it absolutely clear.
And so the English government believes, okay, so you just accused Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Juventus of being the champions, the heroes of the Super League. But why does the English government feel like they need to champion the governance of European football? Interesting.
That clubs cannot join a breakaway Super League either. And the last time they tried it, let's not forget, these clubs all thought it was a fantastic idea. Let's name the clubs: Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United and Spurs. It fell apart in a matter of days and they were also fined. So in my opinion, for what it's worth...
Do you remember what they were fined? It wasn't even anything substantial.
Yeah.
It was
Like maybe
lunch money.
Lunch money for clubs, really.
Yeah.
This is never going to happen because the Premier League clubs cannot join it. It's as simple as that. And what...
Here's a question, though. If they decide to join a Super League, they break a contract, then the contract's just broke and they just go to the other team, the other league. Who cares? I mean, that's what happens with contracts. You screwed up. If there's a fine associated or something, they're going to be like, okay, here's your money. See you later. Doesn't really seem like it does much there.
What A22 Sports Management are basically saying is that UEFA is anti-competitive. It's a cartel. Why shouldn't other people be allowed to set up leagues? But effectively, what they want to do is...
It is.
Yeah, why can't anybody? Again, why can't they?
They threatened to ban any team that was setting up the league or impose punishments for even having an idea until the Madrid court's like, yeah, nah, you can't do this. Like,
I mean, look at the US right now. So you have the MLS and you have the USL.
Those are
I mean, you had the two separate leagues in the same country.
They don't.
You had WCW, WWF,
Yeah,
two separate wrestling leagues in the same country.
You've got arena football and you have the NFL. You have
you had the XFL, yeah.
And the NFL, two separate leagues.
You can do it. Hey, Canada even decided to make a CFL for some goddamn reason.
The rules aren't even consistent with the actual NFL either.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get into that now. But the point is this is a thing in the rest of the world, but not in England. I'm sorry, not in England. Okay.
Apparently not.
Replace one cartel with another cartel. So instead of UEFA running the game in Europe, they want it to be run by Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus.
Okay.
So, yeah, okay, go fly.
So it's not being run by those three clubs. It's actually it's a collective delegation of all the other clubs that are actually playing in the said league that run it. It's not one entire body like UEFA.
And isn't that because, and we've hearkened about this before, that the clubs have more power? And this is why the clubs like this, because the clubs have the ability to make decisions and make change within the league like they do in North America, and it's fucking brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing too. UEFA's a third party.
Yeah, like who the hell is
they're a broker. So the thing is, it's like these clubs are like, why do we need these guys to do anything? Because they take almost nearly all the funds and leave us with scraps. And it's like this guy's argument saying, oh, you're replacing a cartel with another cartel. Like, dude, just say you're replacing one league with another league.
He's admitting that he's a cartel, that UEFA's a cartel.
Yeah, stop being anecdotal. It's starting to really get irritating with me because it's like, he's like, all right, yeah, just say it. We're replacing the Champions League with the Super League. Or, hey, because it's not actually a replacement, it's giving clubs an option because this isn't technically going to take out the UEFA Champions League. If you want to still be in the Champions League, you can still be in the Champions League. You want to join A22, you can join A22.
You know what a beautiful thing? You're an NFL guy. There used to be something called the American Football League and the National Football League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it now?
It's the NFL.
Oh, they came together collectively. That's pretty cool. Baseball did the same.
They did. And that's the funny thing because it used to be the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. Two separate leagues, merger became one. And that's how you get the Super Bowl. And the other thing, too, is they're trying to expand in Europe. So there's an American football, like an NFL in the national American area. There's going to be a European one. And then the Super Bowl is going to be the winner from the U.S. versus the winner from Europe. That's the actual NFL's plan in the next 10, 15 years. So there you go.
It's great. Like, basketball's already doing it. Hockey's already doing it.
Yeah, if UEFA wants to be smart, they could do a special kind of tournament where you take the best teams in the Champions League and you can beat them against the best teams in A22. But The reason is the reason why UEFA's kind of scared, and all these guys that are UEFA sympathizers, is because UEFA knows they're in the wrong. They know they messed up. And now they're doing everything in their power to make sure it never happens.
And Massimo's saying here, hey guys, honestly, they don't want to join because they don't want to lose stock in their league. The funny part is this pundit hasn't done his homework by claiming Juve, Real Madrid, and Barca run the Super League.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
It's A22 that runs the league. And A22 is essentially you send, and the idea is all the clubs would be sending delegates to the meetings, and they would all have equal say on what's going on. Like right now, if you think about it, currently it's UEFA has all the say, and the clubs are just there to make money for them. They don't care.
And they get
like
the share of the money is very balanced towards UEFA.
Yeah, and it's like, and I can't even find those numbers online because UEFA won't release them.
They were out at one point. I remember them getting released, but yeah, I wonder if we can track those down again. But let's carry on. KB is in here calling us nerds once again. Yeah, I watched your video there, Armored Core nerd, buddy. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we saw the strong opinion and reaction to this the last time. We saw what the fans thought about it. What reaction have we had already in just a...
Which fans? Because pretty sure you didn't listen to all the fans, just the ones you wanted
a short time since this has been announced.
Well, the most eye-catching reaction so far today has been from Spain, La Liga.
Okay.
We all know that the president of La Liga, Javier Tebas, is very...
Javier Tebas doesn't like the Super League. I wonder why. Why doesn't Javier like the Super League?
You want to know why Javier Tebas doesn't like the Super League and why he's petty? Is because that guy managed to lose not one, but two of the greatest players in history. He lost Ronaldo to Juventus and he lost Messi to PSG. So Tobias can be as cranky as he wants. That guy needs to hold his L because, let's be real, his leak management of La Liga is the reason why Messi is gone. Because
he's one of the reasons why Barca and Real Madrid want to create the Super League, because they're in a dysfunctional league right now where they're essentially the only two teams playing, with Atleti coming up once in a while. Yeah.
So, of course, Tobias is pissed because he lost his cash cow in Ronaldo. And here's the thing. He invested all of his chips into Messi and Ronaldo for the advertisements, for the broadcasting rights, and all of that stuff, with the idea that they would both retire in La Liga, without investing in Sevilla, without investing in Villarreal and all those other Spanish clubs. And then the gap currently, and you guys can see how the gap is right now. It is ridiculous. It is only two teams with an occasional Atleti run. And now that both of his cash cows are gone, who's watching La Liga? Let's be honest.
Not as much internationally anymore.
Not as much internationally. Like
same with Italy.
Yeah, and it's
same with Germany.
Same with
Holland's gone out of Germany, right? Ronaldo's gone out of, and Lukaku. I mean, like all the big guys.
Yeah, so it's like who's watching La Liga? So of course he's pissed. Of course he doesn't want, of course he doesn't want something like this to happen, because then it makes him look more of an idiot.
I mean, it's pretty easy.
Very outspoken. He's staunchly anti the European Super League. He has made his feelings very, very clear, even though in Spain he's up against two powerful clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona who are pushing this. And La Liga released a statement this morning, quite a funny statement.
Just going to do a pause just so we don't get hit.
Pause.
That said, the Super League is the wolf in the story of Little Red Riding.
Okay, let's pause that here too so we can look at this. So this is from La Liga Corporativo, which I'm assuming is just actually La Liga, the corporation of it. The Super League is the wolf in the story of Little Red Riding Hood. It is disguising itself as an open and why can't I say it for me? Meritocratic? It's a meritocracy. It's a meritocracy. Jesus Christ, why can't I say that? Meritocratic competition. Man, I'm gonna have to practice one. That's embarrassing. But underneath, there is still the same selfish, elitist, and greed-driven project. Don't let their tales fool you. But you're trying to fool us with your tales and using Little Red Riding. Is that the best, really, that they came up with? Is a Little Red Riding Hood reference? I mean, in the age of memes, just get a 12-year-old. He could have done better with a meme generator than this. This is a bit embarrassing. I mean, this is hyperbolic as well going on about this, but it's just adding to the embarrassment of what this guy is trying to push on us. You got any comments on this?
No, I just think it's funny. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Hood. It is disguising itself as an open and
Okay, he reads it
meritorious
anyways. Whatever.
project. Sums it up pretty well.
Sums it.
You've got to
Okay,
remember
sums it up
today
very well.
is about PR. This has been driven by Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus, because effectively they're jealous of the success and power of the English Premier League.
And there we go.
And when somebody says that somebody else is jealous,
You lose
Is-
all credibility
Yeah,
in
or
any kind
they-
of statistical argument.
is it? I mean, maybe they're jealous, maybe, but that doesn't matter because right now you're scared, and that's what actually matters: is that you're scared. And if you were as big and as bad as you actually try to portray yourself, you would not be scared. You would have this under control. Instead, you're here on a national program, Sky Sports. And I mean, you didn't do your homework. You were checking your phone halfway through it. You want me to take you serious? If anybody on the internet's watching this and has watched that and took it serious, I mean, shake your head right now. Because man, you got to get out of the zone. You got to get out of that bullshit zone and realize it is bullshit. That's it. I mean, what do you guys think? I need to rant on that for days. I need to rant on that. That was just one of the videos. This is one of the shorter ones. I mean, I can be here all day tearing this crap apart. But there it is. That's the crap that we're getting fed, or a lot of people are getting fed. I think you guys around here are pretty subjective anyways. You're smart enough people. That's why we like you. You know, you're all reasonable people. You understand. But the rest of the world out there, man, it's scary that this is what gets fed. And I mean, this is something me and Dash are talking about because in North America, we got these UFOs flying around in our airspace. And the amount of news articles that said that there's aliens. Come on, guys. It's not aliens. It's not aliens. The Pentagon came out and said they're from this planet. They're not aliens. But people believe it. Whatever. You can't fix stupid. Let's go.
So, you know, the thing that I always found ironic, that you're just jealous of the success of the Premier League. All right, buddy. So, you guys know the name of the company that has all of the broadcasting rights to the Premier League? It's 3 letters. NBC. Do you know what country the headquarters and the owner of NBC is in?
America. With a capital M.
Just, you know. And, you know, and here's the funny thing. Do you want to know how much money said company invests in said league? You ready for it? $2.7 billion.
2.7 billion.
You want to know?
That's a big number.
You want to know how much CBS invested in Serie A? $75 million a season.
Yeah, not
That-
too great.
Million a season. And you know, we'll go back to this. Go back to this real quick. So you want to know who owns NBC as well? It's a utility company, internet company, Comcast. The biggest utility company. They own Universal Studios, which makes Fast and the Furious. They have CBC, CNBC, DreamWorks Animation, Universal Animation Studios, Universal Parks and Resorts. They are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, entertainment company in the United States. If we look down here, they make $821 billion a year in revenue. Lots of money, and they pour lots of money.
821 billion. Jesus, this is such a massive
100.
number.
Yeah, it is huge. So these guys are ridiculously huge, and they pour a lot of money in the Premier League. And they started pouring money in the Premier League in 2013-14 when you started seeing the name of the Barclays Premier League getting dropped because it was Barclays that sponsored them. Now they don't anymore. That's why it's just called the Premier League. And you guys want to know In comparison to the other leagues across the entire globe, you want to know the top 5? Let's go to them. Currently, number 1, the National Football League, $17 million per match. That's how much they charge per match. Next,
Which is insane that the NFL is number 1.
and the NFL is so expensive that it takes 3 networks to cover them: Fox, NBC, and CBS.
And it's only played in one country. That's
In
the
one
crazy.
country,
Like every other American sport at least has one team in Canada. This one is just America.
1 day a week. 1 day a week. Next is the Indian Premier League. This is cricket at $15.1 million per match. They just recently, their broadcasting rights recently got purchased by Disney/ESPN. And look at that. Look who's 3. The most expensive league in the world at $11.23 million per match. They generate $5.3 billion in revenue. You want to know why? Because the Premier League matches are streamed on Peacock. They're streamed on NBC, which is a free channel in the US. NBC, it used to be NBC Sports Network, but now it's just USA. So they're on cable TV, free TV, and on a streaming service. CBS doesn't even have Serie A games on CBS. All of their games are on Paramount Plus.
What's this? B-Rock Vanguard?
I think he's asking K. I think he might be asking KB for that one.
Oh, is this an Armored Core question?
I don't know, but
I don't know. If you don't know, KB's got
BlackRock, Vanguard, big companies, maybe. That's what.
maybe.
Yeah, big corporation companies. And then here's the thing: the Premier League makes more money than the baseball, major base MLB and NBA.
And then is hockey even on that list?
Hockey's not on that list.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's too small.
So that's how much money gets poured into the Premier League by the American Broadcasting Company. And you guys want to know the distribution of wealth of that? So here we go. Last season, Manchester City brought in 164, Liverpool 162, Tottenham and Chelsea roughly at 155 million. Man United, so the 6th place team in the Premier League, nearly brought home 150 million euros from the top 6. Look who's the most competitive teams in England. Those guys. And everyone else doesn't even, no one really.
They don't matter.
They don't matter.
Unfortunately.
Even West Ham and Leicester receiving 134 million. That is insane. And then here's where it gets even more interesting. 20th place Norwich City, 98.5 million euros get brought to that. Could you and you wonder, and people were wondering why Bournemouth was able to purchase Zaniolo outright for 30 million and Juventus can't even do that.
Not
Milan can't
anymore.
even do that.
It's in Galatasaray now.
Yeah, but like
no, but I know. In case you didn't catch that, guys, Zaniolo's playing for Galatasaray.
Well, I have the La Liga numbers. Unfortunately, Serie A doesn't have the Serie A club numbers, but we'll compare it with La Liga. So currently, we look at the distribution of wealth in La Liga. 160 for Real Madrid, 160 for Barcelona, 130 for Atletico. And then you look at Sevilla, who finished in 4th place, 87. That is a huge drop off. And then everyone else kind of averages out at 45 million of income, except Athletic Club. They're the only outliers. Like
I think this is a Tottenham reference from KB here, perhaps most recently.
He's just throwing a jab there. But that is ridiculous. The amount of distribution. And Serie A is a lot lower than La Liga. I'm telling you that. The distribution for Serie A is a joke. And then also, let's go into the Champions League as well. So the Champions League.
Did he have Serie A? Because I know the top one makes like, it's under 100. It's not even 100.
Yeah, it's not even 100. I don't have it on me, unfortunately. But so if we look at the Champions League, so the Champions League, total purse of $2.3 billion a season. Look at the distribution of wealth here. The winner of the Champions League only gets 20 million. Runners up 15, semifinalists 12.5, quarterfinalists 10.6, round of 16 9.6, group stage wins 2.8, group stage draws 930K, reaching the group stage 15.4 million. How is that And here's the crazy thing too. How does the Premier League make more money than the Champions League?
There's
It's
that.
It's Europe's elite competition, right?
But read down below. While 55% of the total prize purse is distributed amongst the clubs as reward for the results in the competition is outlined above, the rest of the 45% of the pool is split across 32 group stage participants in 2 ways. So they don't really get that much, I guess, at the end of the day. What is that?
And then here's this. This one's the one that drives people insane. The club's insane. Broadcast market payout, only 15%.
Yeah, and these are the numbers here, like coefficient payout. So that's the 30% of the total. That was the number I wanted. So they only get 30% of that money. And that's what they're saying, 15% of the broadcast payout. All they're doing is administering the tournament. They're just tournament organizers. Yet they take 70% of a cut? That's worse than Apple. Apple Play Store.
I know.
Not that Google's. They're both crap. They both take 30% and people lose their mind. These guys are taking 70.
Yeah. And even this, it's international rights for Serie A. It's just Paramount Plus, and it's 75 million a season. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous. I got another number too. Once you're done with that, another EPL centric number, which is a little insane.
Here's the breakdown too. 2022 distribution of Serie A prize money. Here we go. Let's have some fun with this. Position of the club, 23.4 million.
Yeah.
That's it. Not even $1 million for 20th place.
900. Yeah.
Good job, Serie A.
So you know which other American company is dumping a lot of money into the EPL? I like to say specifically American company. Technically, the sub company is in Vancouver, Canada. EA paying the Premier League $588 million for the rights to the EPL for their game. If you don't know yet, they broke off with FIFA. FIFA was demanding, I believe it was $1 billion to just use their name. And they basically said, screw you. I mean, we've established ourselves over the past 20 years. We don't need the FIFA name. So it's going to be called EAFC. As you can see, maybe down at the bottom, it says EAFC, EA Sports Football Club. But yeah, so another American company is dumping $588 million into this stuff. The point being is we're not getting mad that Americans are spending money in the Premier League. But why is the Premier League so upset about a breakaway league trying to establish an American style sports entertainment business when they are sucking off the teat of America?
Yeah. That's the thing that I think is just ironic.
It is ironic. They're crybabies. That's how I perceive it as, is they are a bunch of crybabies. They don't want to share their piece of the pie. They want it all for themselves. I mean, look, I'm not here like trying to trash the English people. You know, I never blame the people from the country, but the governing bodies sometimes are very much to blame, and that's who I'm attacking here. So the English governing bodies in this case are absolutely insane. They're absolutely selfish. And they do put this crap out like on Sky Sports to try. It's propaganda. I'm not even going to dress it up. It's propaganda. That's all it is.
So I have the Serie A distribution numbers. So here's the funny thing. I'll pull it up real quick. None of the clubs break 100 million. None of them. So currently, right now, Milan, 77.8. Juventus, 77.9. Inter, 84.2. And then we go to Lazio, 58.9. Atalanta, 48.8. Fiorentina, 51.2.
So did Inter get more money because they came in second but won the Copa?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's the amount of money. We don't even break 100. That is ridiculous. I mean, Barcelona and Real Madrid can keep up with the Premier League teams because they're netting 160 per season. Atletico's in there because of 130. but we make not even like we make roughly about half of what they do.
Yeah.
Like, how do you expect Serie A to compete? Like that, unless they do something to the rights and they do some crazy stuff, which I've heard that they're trying to do, but I don't know because Serie A will never really do anything. But
the contract's up. The TV contract's coming up.
is.
So yeah, something will happen.
So how? Like that to me is like how I got no words. That's all. Like
All
the
right.
fact that it's that disparaged is insane because of that size of a gap.
Well, we beat the shit out of this horse. It's pretty dead now. What do you say? Should we hit some of that Nantes stuff?
Yeah, we should
Now
not
we're in.
talk about this.
And now we're in. Get onto the Nantes. Working on my French. I'm just trying to deep throat my words.
But oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
kind of how you gotta like deep throat a bit.
Ooh, all right. Hey, but anyways, before we get into the not stuff, so today, special shout out goes to the Next Gen. They won 2-1. They're in the Serie C Italian Cup final because of a banger of a defenseman that we call Hoisin the Banger Boy. Because look at this shot, guys. It is insane. I gotta just rewind the clip, but look at this. Takes the ball, absolutely goes down the middle of the park, takes it from the middle of the pitch and says, "Excuse me, sir, I have top bins for you." Absolute laser beam of a shot. Laser beam. Pure madness from the young lad here. I don't know if they got a slow-mo replay, but absolute filth. So here we go again. Drives, beats past multiple defenders, takes it from outside of the box.
Fucking launches it.
Top corner. And mind you, this dude's a center back.
Yeah, it's insane.
That he did that. That is pure insanity.
So we win 5-3 on penalties for that one. So that's interesting. We play Vicenza now, March 1st, and then again on April 11th. So it is a two-legged affair. So good for them. I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. So I think it's time to go for some knots, huh?
Oh yeah, let's get some Nantes. But here's I actually want to throw this out because Spezia's on the weekend. They just sacked their coach. Just want to throw it out there.
Motta's not there anymore.
No,
Interesting.
They fired him today.
Alrighty, guys. So going into the main event of our little show here. So we've got 3 p.m. tomorrow in our time. We've got Juventus versus Nantes in the Allianz Stadium. The referee is João Pedro Silva Pinheiro. Don't know who that is. Don't care.
It's a nice name. I like that name. It rings.
Sarkov says Bremer needs to take notes.
Well, I mean, since you brought that up, he has taken blame for Monza and Napoli.
Yeah, he did say it in the Europa League press conference.
Yeah.
So kind of going off some probable starting lineups, it looks like we're going to do a 3-5-2. Allegri saying in his pre-match presser that the Trident will potentially play. So we don't know. Again, I don't trust FotMob for the pre-match lineups, but I do trust them on some things where they say Nantes plays a 4-2-3-1, which they do. Nantes, and I said this on the Juve live on Twitch. I said this on Juventus' channel. Nantes is going to come at you like another Fiorentina. They're going to press, create a lot of chances, but not really do anything with it.
French Fiorentina is what we call them.
It is. We called them the French Fiorentina. So if you kind of go down a little bit,
Fiorentina's pretty French. Like they have the fleur de lis on their crest. They're. Yeah, I mean, I think Fiorentina are just the Italian Nantes.
So this is technically outside of the Europa League final stage. Or yeah, we haven't even actually. This is the first time we're playing Nantes in a while. So
there was a poll on that today, and I didn't know what the answer was. When was the last time we played them?
I think it was like 20 years ago. When
I put something in the 90s.
When we played them in the opening rounds, we actually won the final. That was what I remember it. The one thing that I do kind of want to illustrate is Nantes has been undefeated in 7 away games, because if we go to Nantes,
bam, Ali coming in hard. See, I told you I was started right. I said 90s.
That is when we won the Champions League. So when we look at Nantes, originally during the winter break, when the groups were drawn, they were 18th, but they were able to stick together some wins. But if you look at it, very similar to Fiorentina, except they just draw a lot more than Fiorentina does. But 6 wins, 10 draws, 7 losses in League. This is where they're similar to Fiorentina. They've scored 24 goals, conceded 26. So kind of pulling up some of their fixtures. And again, I'm not saying that we should take them lightly and not be afraid of them, but they do have some momentum going into the match. They did get a 1-0 win against Laurier. I said Laurier as the
Like Riffle Laurier or old school
No,
Prime
like
Minister?
the moisturizer.
L'Oreal?
Yeah, that.
Just don't speak French. Just don't do it.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Unfortunately, playing against League, like, what do you want me to do? All right, so kind of similar to Fiorentina, 12 total shots, 1 actual chance created, and 1 big chance missed. They don't possess the ball that much. That's the only difference. But again, you look at it, they spam shots everywhere.
That's very Fiorentina-like.
It is extremely Fiorentina-like. It's all spam shots that are either say pickups or etc. So 1-0 score line here. And then if we pull this back a little bit more. So again, Wednesday, 1-1 against Angers.
It's
Ajax.
Angers.
Angers?
I'm sorry.
Just say the name.
It's too
Just say
easy.
the name. Just say the name.
It's so easy.
I'm a rage quit. I'm done. I quit. No. But so again, 2-0 win there, 2-0 loss against Igor Tudor's man. And then you have a 0-0 draw again, more 0-0 draws. They beat
Montpellier.
I had it and then I butchered it right when you got me. But anyways, they won 3-0 against that, 0-0 against Lyon.
Say no, go down one. I want you to pronounce that one. I've actually been there.
Which, this one?
Yeah.
Cannes?
It is. So this is a funny story. I was in France and I wanted to go to Cannes. So if anybody's into war history, World War II history in particular, and if you watched Band of Brothers, Cannes is actually the town that they took after taking the beaches. But there's also Cannes Film Festival. That's on the South Shore. One's on the North Shore, one's on the South Shore. Yeah, don't mess that one up. You either say Cannes or Con.
What about cunt?
I don't know if that's not a word for them. They don't care. Then they look at you funny. But anyways, if you're ever in that situation, just be aware. There's a very fine difference in that in the pronunciation there.
Yup. So they're not known to score many goals. If you guys can literally just look at some of their results here, they're very similar to how Fiorentina is going to play. I think we're going to have more possession for sure. This formation doesn't really make too much sense for me because I think it's going to be a 3-4-3 in a sense. So I think we've got a pretty good chance. I mean, we should go in here and get work done. I would be surprised if we don't.
Hold on. Sarthak was calling me out last week. Here's the fucking book, bro. So there.
Speaking of Sarthak, so he's saying, I've watched them a couple of times against PSG. If there's one thing they might frustrate Juve would be their keeper. Lafont is very good. Yeah, I'd believe it. I need to pull up Allegri's pre-match comments.
His comments. He had I don't know, was Allegri? It's Allegri. He had a couple. No, he did have a couple good ones though. I do have to say. There's a few good quotes that came out of today's presser. Oh yeah, Ellie wants the black book. I don't actually have a black book. All right, like I wasn't that much of a player when I was younger. I got locked down pretty early. Sorry, just how she went.
Alrighty, so I've got this sucker pulled up. So he started off his pre-match conference or pre-match press conference. I can't even say a sentence now. I'm so confused. That's what happens when I try to speak French. So he says, talking about the squad, so he's talking about Juan Cuadrado. Says Juan Cuadrado will be there, but he won't be at 100%. Leo Bonucci will be there, except he will be called up to let him breathe the team atmosphere. So Bonucci's not playing. And then everyone is available except Paul Pogba and Caio George. And then this is the 15-point deduction. So the 15-point deduction that Juventus has been hit pretty much paid to Champions League qualification. And then he says, tomorrow the Europa League starts. It's a European journey. We were eliminated in the Champions League, but it can be a gateway to the Champions League for next season. There is a playoff with Nantes, and then we go to the round of 16, and then we want to go all the way. So he wants to go for the dub. And then this is him commenting about the Champions League group stages. So he says, being knocked out of the Champions League has left us bitter and angry. The Europa League is not easy, playing it and winning it. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. And then he says, Nantes has come from the last game with only 1 defeat against Marseille, making 6 clean sheets. They have a fast technical players. Tomorrow we have to put the foundations in place that we can go to Nantes with a good lead. for me tomorrow is a debut in the Europa League, because he's never coached in the Europa League, by the way. Allegri's never been in that competition. All the more reason to respect Nantes. These guys are showing that they are a team. We need commitment and respect. Nantes is solid, and they are. They have technical players, but let me send a hug to the Nantes players, Ignace Ganago, who lost his son the past few days. Moving on.
Sarthak's apologizing for challenging me. No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't fucking call me out again, bro.
No, he means it with all love. All right, so talking about Milik, he says and Pogba. So we hope to have Pogba as soon as possible. He's still behind. He has to be assessed day by day, one small step at a time. Milik, I didn't mention him before. He's recovering, but still not recovered. And then Allegri has been a little, and this is some questions about Allegri calling out the fan and telling the fan, why don't you come out here? He says, I am not a leader, but a coach. At the base of everything is the club, which is the base of all of us. There are moments and there are moments. Okay, Allegri. In some moments, things have to be done.
That's also translation too. The translation is not the greatest there.
Yeah, I know. And then right now, the compactness has to make the difference. The team has 15 points taken away overnight. It's upsetting, and you have to find situations to pull yourselves together. In fact, that we lost against Monza at home, it was another blow after the reaction against Atalanta. But now we have assembled. We need to take this one step at a time. We have to win to prepare for Spezia in the best possible way. For us as a team, 15-point deduction is in the past. We don't have to think about it. After the upset, or after the moment, we realize that there's a goal and the other things don't matter. We look at what happens on the field. And then the question is, how would the midweek games change focus and the hectic scheduling ahead? And then it says, we are focused on the present. We are taking one step at a time. We absolutely must not lose. And that must be our strength here to the end. And then in the league and the cup in Europe, we have to go to work and improve things. Ball control has to be done better. We need to try to make up as many points as possible in the league. Europe is a possibility, gives us the possibility to fill the calendar. To go weeks without playing is boring. And it's better to play Sunday, Wednesday. Or since we can't play on Wednesday, then Sunday, Thursday works. We're all recovering. The important squads allow us to play for changes. That's bad translation. But playing Thursday, Sunday is not a problem. When we play, we learn a lot. Is winning the Europa League a priority for you? At Juventus, you always have to think about winning. So again, he's just kind of saying that winning is the most important thing. In the league, we have to get back on track. Tomorrow we have to win, and there will be a full stadium because it is actually sold out.
Yes.
And that's a good signal from the fans. After the point deduction, they compacted or they congregated and is helping us out a lot. And then this is kind of about Bremer. So the Brazilian defender Bremer was a designated spokesman for the press conference. He acknowledged that his errors led to lost points in recent performances. So Bremer says, positive. I had a few matches that I wasn't up to scratch. I found myself. I've grown, and next year will be important for me. My negative matches, I'm not looking for excuses. I did terrible. With Monza and Napoli, I wasn't up to the mark. And then 5 years ago, nobody knew me. Last year, I won Best Defender. Resilience is my secret. I will look ahead. And then on this competition, they ask him about the priority and what his side needs to do to close out the remainder of the season. So he says, it is important competition. We have to get at the top of it, but one game at a time. It starts with tomorrow. We are a good team, a good group. We had a few matches not up to par, but we won 8 games in a row in the league. The team is there. We have to give it our best and look at every match as a final and see what happens. They gave us a 15-point deduction. We don't know if it'll stay or not, but we have to finish the season and think about the next one. The expectations will be different starting from scratch. I'm actually surprised Juve said that, or Juve let him say that, because they're really strict on that one. So that's interesting. But anyways, that wraps up the press conference. So that's pretty much what Allegri and Bremer said. And Sarthak is saying, Dave, can you sing a song with that guitar, or is that a showpiece to get girls? Yes and yes.
I was going to say no and no. It is a bit of a showpiece because I never play it anymore, but it is a beautiful guitar, and I feel like it needs to be there. I do love it. It's a 50th anniversary Stratocaster. It's beautiful, and it's actually, the color of it is one that you would normally see on a Telecaster. It's a bit rare for a Strat. So yeah, it's a showpiece, and I can't sing. I can probably play you some Green Day because they're 4-chord wonders. I can do the easy stuff. that's about it. And no, there's no black book. Jesus, Ellie.
So the question is chat, who do you guys think is going to start tomorrow?
Ooh, okay, so to make it a little bit easier, Bonucci and Quad are likely on the bench. Not going to start.
Too.
Yeah. And there was actually a quote. Here's another little hint that Gatti may be replacing Sandro.
Okay.
Chiesa is fully recovered. And we're not sure if we're doing the trident. So there's your hints. They are the hints. What do we have? I don't know if we're going to see the trident tomorrow, to be honest, because the rotation, the quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a team we know really nothing about. We haven't played. And to go and throw a newer formation that we haven't really fleshed out, 3-5-2 may be the smarter choice on this one. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it kind of is what it is, especially back three. I know you can do a 3-4-3. I still have the back three, but regardless, in 3-5-2, I think there's that hint for Gatti. You're going to see Bremer again, and probably Danilo, but he might get rotated. He'll probably get the rotation for Bonucci later on. Can see that, unless Gatti turns into another travesty. We'll see, but
you know, I don't know about him, to be honest with you.
He's still a little bit suspect.
Because the thing is, it's like when he has some horror shows, like some of the, like the thing is, like Gatti has great moments, but like he has some like catastrophic moments.
Yeah. But I mean, rotation, we do have him. We do have to play him. There's also Rugani.
Because and we'll cover this too, and I kind of want to get some people's takes on this. So Danilo's going to be renewed until 2025 at $4.5 million a season. So let me ask you guys this, because this is something that I kind of want to open up a discussion for. Is $4.5 million for Danilo expensive?
That's actually a good question.
Is it?
We did talk about this too, though.
We did. We mentioned this a little bit, but I kind of want to talk about this because I think it's interesting. Because apparently $4.5 million for Danilo is expensive,
according to a certain content creator. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? So I gave my point. I'll just reiterate it here real quick. Is that just for his leadership qualities, for his immense love for the team, his dedication, the fact that there were really no other pieces. Bonucci.
He's using vibes. He's using vibes as his justification. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I say that with a grain of salt, of course. You need a guy like that. And as we know, we would pay a dog $3.5 million. So why not Danilo 4.5?
Because like,
speaking of which, the dog like walks by.
Well, who's going to be the most expensive outside of that? Bonucci at like almost $7 million. Sandro's out of the books for his contract is off the books. So is Rabiot. $4.5 million. Technically, your captain should be one of your more expensive players. Usually.
Yeah. And if that's gonna be like, say, $5 million is sort of our salary cap on our team now. Remember last year we're not paying more than 10 for anybody. Now it's like we're not paying more than 5. And I mean, other than Bonucci, whatever. But he's gonna be. I don't think he's got that many years left either.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if he gets ushered out shortly. It's just I think that's the direction that everything's gonna be going. But
yeah,
I don't see 4.5 expensive for a center back, especially like, for example, his age, what he's been able to do, because Danilo's probably the most consistent defender that we have currently.
Easy. Yeah.
And then, everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, you just lowered the club's standard by saying Danilo is consistent and does his job. Okay, great. Who are you going to get? If you say Gatti, I'm going to slap the crap out of you because
sorry. Go ahead. You go. No, you need to rant. Just go on it.
Because it's like, the thing is, it's like, how can you legitimately say, oh yeah, I'm going to bring in Gatti next season and have him be one of the main guys? Dude hasn't shown anything. It's like, true. I'm not, and this isn't me shitting on Gatti with all respect. I don't mean to shit on him, but like, he looked like an absolute punk against Monza for his defensive errors. It is insane. And it's like, who else are we gonna get? Are we gonna purchase someone that's worth it? Like, I mean, Bremer's making almost the same money as Danilo, and Bremer's younger.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand that argument where everyone's like, "Oh, that's too expensive." Rugani is too expensive for being a
Yes.
bench player. Danilo is going to be a starter that plays 38 games this season. For 4.5, that's not bad at all. Where it's like we were paying Delict anywhere near close to 12 million.
Oh man. Yeah. And he was good. Obviously 12 million because he's making what 16 now? And he's not a 16 million. I don't think he's proven to be that. He was a little overhyped. I think we found out. We were in denial when he was playing for us, and that's fine. We do that. It's a bias.
And
But
yeah, Sarthak says,
yeah.
well, you guys have no one else there. Might as well give him the money. It would be another story if you guys had options. Yeah, but there is no options because even Ellie says it correctly here. No, it's fine because if you want any other player that's at the same level as Danilo, you'll have to pay 30 million or bet on a new talent. And we can't. Don't have the margin to bet on a new talent. That's what Gatti is right now.
Yeah.
Gatti is that risk. He is that gamble that we're betting on a new player. And no offense, he hasn't broken through.
And we can look at Huyson as well, but I mean, realistically, he wouldn't be ready next season.
And even, and I would not want him to be in the first team next season or this season because that's going to put so much pressure on the poor kid.
Yeah.
Because
he's still, what, like 17?
Yeah. He's young. He's very young. So my thing is this, and like everyone, you can make this argument and say, oh, well, Allegri doesn't play youngsters. Gatti is like 26 years old. He's like 26, 27. He's not that young, and he hasn't broken through.
Yeah, I think he's 25, 26.
Something like that.
I can look that up.
Because I know he has a birthday at this point of the year. So like, I don't mean to send the train on the Gatti Express here, but like the dude hasn't broken through. And when he's
still 24.
Okay. But it's 24 years old. It's not like he's an under 21 player.
No, for center back, I mean, it takes a little bit longer, but he's not young per se.
It does, but like, what is it? Bremer's 26. He's 2 years older than him. So it's like,
yeah, and there's a world apart there.
Yeah. So it's like, the thing is, it's like Gatti, whenever he's played, he's had some good games, but he has had some catastrophic games.
Okay. He's 25. So Bremer's only a year older, and well, even market value 34 opposed to 4.5.
Yeah. So it's like, you look at that, and that's pretty much all you need to know. I mean, no offense. I mean, I'm hoping that the guy turns out to be good, but he hasn't done it. Hasn't broken through. Fagioli broke through. Fagioli was an outcast at the beginning of the season. He broke through.
Yeah.
And
Sule remember last year they didn't even pass to Sule?
Sule was, and even this season, Sule was considered to be a fringe player, and he still had more consistent showings than Gatti. And the thing is, and don't even give me that BS about, oh yeah, there's no room. Bonucci went down. They converted Alexandro. Allegri was more willing to convert Alexandro into a center back than use Gatti, and that is everything you need to know.
Yeah. It's not great. Not a great look.
So like, to the people that are kind of like, that's expensive or that deal makes no sense, I'm sorry. What are you going to get? What else is out there?
Okay, but you do understand this come from the same person that doesn't say anything positive ever.
That's true.
So take it with a grain of salt. Gatti should be moved to CDM. I actually don't mind that call. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Because he does like to get into the offensive play. He can actually run forward and dribble a little bit. He's awkward, but he can do it. Yeah. But yeah, that's that. So let's get to some predictions before we tighten it up okay, and let's talk about tomorrow. I mean, because things might be a little bit up in the air again. Turns out Beppe might be a little under the weather. I don't know. I'm trying not to give too much away here. I don't know. He might not be
available.
He might not be available for the Twitch stream. We might have to do that. Okay, so you'll get the notification. I mean, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that nonsense, so you know we're coming live. I'll also say on Twitter where I'm going to be if you follow Discord as well, that nonsense. Regardless, if I'm not here on the YouTube, check over on the Twitch. I know not everyone's on Twitch either, but I mean, if you want me, you gotta go to the Twitch tomorrow. Perhaps. But for sure, the Spezia, we're doing the Twitch on that one.
Yeah, that one's 100% for sure.
So yeah, unfortunately, we can't say. It just kind of depends. I know Beppe is going to want to try to do it. He's also going on a bit of a holiday, so I think he wants to be healthy. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we've also determined that just because there's so few games or so few days between the two games, that we're gonna combine the pre on Saturday, and as of now, we're gonna look for like the 4 p.m. earlier time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's gonna be 10 o'clock over in England. I mean, get the Europeans involved a little bit more, and it's Saturday. So I mean, if you're working still on Saturday, I don't know. It sucks. I work last Saturday too. What can I say? It sucks. So
I work every Saturday.
yeah, and he doesn't stop working. But I mean, you're young and dapper. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I know, right?
Paying. I don't know.
Gotta,
do you have
gotta,
bills?
Gotta pay for Pornhub.
Yeah, the premium. You don't even need to, but that premium is so worth it.
It's so
Bones coming in with the
Cortamuzo,
the 1-0, and it's gonna be ugly Allegri ball. Absolutely. It might be.
I say 2-0. 2, maybe 3-0.
Yeah, let's go with 2-0. We don't like to go 2 out of here. But who would you call? Who would you call for this?
Dusan Chiesa.
We made calls on Monday, so can we make different calls?
See, Sarthak says Juve Pogba with a Pog Boom top bins. Fortunately, he's not playing, so you won't be getting that.
Oh, Pogba. We just stopped talking about him. It's like he doesn't exist. It's kind of sad. Yeah, okay. I think I said 2-0. I said a Bremer header. I also said, I don't know who I also said. Vlahovic?
I think you did.
Frank has got a statement at 4-1.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think we see Allegri ball, to be honest. 3-5-2 Allegri ball. 1-0 is probably going to be the one that wins. Let's be honest. It probably will. Yeah, who's your goal scorers? You got to throw.
No, I said Chiesa and Dusan.
Did you? Okay, I stopped paying attention to you.
Yeah, you usually do.
Yeah. Ellie's here saying, "Oh, I always overestimate and we'll go for a 3-0." That's staying on the positive side, right? You rather have too much and not need than need and not have it. Something
like that. Something philosophical like that.
Yeah. Philosophy. Like that got people anywhere.
And then Sarthak says, "Damn, I've been living under a rock."
Or just Edmonton, probably just under a snowbank.
A glacier.
just a solid wall of ice and road salt.
Tomas, new guy. I don't think we've seen Tomas before.
I might have. I didn't recognize that name. Yeah.
Tomas says Di Maria to show his worth tomorrow and provide 3 assists. He is also known Nantes from his time in PSG.
That's a good point, actually.
That is a very good point.
Good call on that one. Di Maria is pretty electric, and if he has another good game, I mean, 3 assists. It's a heavy prediction, but
He did it against Maccabi.
Who's better, Maccabi or Nantes?
I would say Nantes.
But they didn't make the Champions League.
That's okay, but I think.
Okay, I know. I'm just Jesus. Okay, gonna get you going for real over here as we're trying to. Chill out, buddy. Man, this is what happens when you watch too much of that anime. You're just always so wound up.
I know. I'm always wound up in a honey. One of the two.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. All right. So that's, I think, the note that we're going to sign off here because we're turning a little bit racist ourselves now. We do it. We do it for love. Always.
And we're demonetized. No, I'm just kidding.
We never got monetized. I mean, we're not even there yet.
Shh, don't tell that. Our haters will find out.
They know because there's no ads in front of the freaking video.
We've been doing commercial free. TG does commercial free, guys.
Oh man, I don't have that much money. Actually, I don't have any money in my bank account. So there you go. I need Pay me, YouTube. Pay me. All right. Let's
Super
run
chat
some...
us.
Yeah, we can't even do that.
I know.
Soon. We need the watch hour. So the guys watching, especially the replays, especially those double takes, that's what's really going to help us. We went so heavy on the lives, and the live hours don't count until it's on a rewatch. It's weird. Man.
Yeah. So you know what you can do, guys? Just as you're going to sleep, just play us in the background. We'll knock you out real quick.
Yeah, I've definitely cheated and turned one of our streams on and like went and did groceries or something.
He's lying. He just likes to hear himself talk.
I've gotten used to it, actually.
Yeah.
Not that I like it, but I've gotten used to it.
And it's the funny thing with me editing or double takes is like I have to sit there and listen to us talk, and I'm just kind of like, okay, because I have to listen for specific parts so I can edit cutouts or clips and stuff like that. So I'm like sitting there just listening to myself talk, and I'm like, that's how I sound like? Oh,
yeah, it is. Honestly, I just giggle a lot because I'm like, man, we're fucking retarded.
Starbucks says, all right, boys, I'm out. I gotta go watch the Oilers smoke the Red Wings.
Ooh,
you talking smack there, buddy?
Man, those are both really bad teams. Good luck with that one.
I know. Yikes. I just want a good Detroit sports team, guys. That's all I want.
Not allowed. Enjoy the game.
The Wings started hopeful, and then they just took a nosedive.
All right, man. Let's hit this music. Outro us.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for this roast of the league Sky Sports and the rematch for Nantes Juventus. Catch us on tomorrow, or catch us on Twitch possibly tomorrow. If not, Dave might do a watch along on the channel. Just watch Dave on Twitter. Dave will usually tell you on Twitter what he does because that's what Twitter is for. But anyways, guys, we'll see you on the weekend, possibly for a 4 p.m., 10 o'clock Central European time post-game, pre-game show where we talk Spezia, where we recap Nantes and kind of talk a little bit about some other stuff too. So thanks, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm Dash. I'm out of here. Dave's out of here as well. Got to go take a nap. Forza Juve. Take it away, Dave.
Love you all. We'll definitely see you tomorrow and this coming weekend, man. Stay tuned. Forza Juve. And let's beat those mother effers tomorrow. Man, I got to work better on the F-bombs. I'm so bad. All right.
You got to deliver a punchline. Just be like, guess what, guys? We're not losing tomorrow. See ya.
Perfect time.